How's it going, everyone? Thank you for joining Shop Talk Live. My name is Rick Ramirez, also known as Rick's 2 Cents, along with my fellow co-host Steve from Steve Makes Everything.
Hey, guys.
And Roger from Roger's Shop. And I guess the banner was up last time, so it popped up again.
Yeah, I was playing Santa's helper today, so I'm dressed for the part.
All right. I did get a message from our winner that he did receive his mini toolbox, as he called it. And he
what color did he get?
Blue. I told him in the email. I think I CC'd you guys on it. I think I did. But I said, congratulations on winning your pink toolbox. You'll be receiving it shortly. And I put LOL, just kidding. I'm mailing you a blue one. But he got it, so it's very cool.
Sweet.
I ordered 7 more. So I'll be giving away as Christmas gifts. They're so cool. Let's see. Chris said, "Good day from down under." Hello.
Quiet in the house today.
Yeah, summertime down there.
Rick said, "Once again, Fish Lake, Indiana, in the house. Thank you for joining." You know, we always answer a lot of questions for everyone. I have some questions for you all. One thing I want to say is that, what did you guys start with? What was your gateway drug? We always call it a gateway drug because it's like, you know, you got your foot in the door and then you just, oh God, right? Was it a CNC? Was it a 3D printer? Was it a laser? Was it a diode, a CO2, a fiber? What was your gateway drug? And if you don't mind, let us know what it is. Like what model did you end up getting? I'm just curious.
I'll tell you where I started. My gateway thing was sublimation.
Okay.
Then I went from sublimation to, of course, on YouTube and everything. And then somebody offered me a 3018 CNC. So I tried that, and it came with a laser. And of course, I wasn't impressed with the 3018 CNC, but I thought the laser was pretty cool. So then I started buying lasers. And then, you know, companies then give them to you. And then somewhere in the middle of that, I decided I wanted to get into see what a 3D printer could do. And that just snowballed. Now I have a print farm.
See, I
care to share, Steve?
I started, well, I mean, I used to use a buddy's laser. I mean, I always had a workshop, so I had all kinds of tools anyway. But my first kind of, we'll say, tech device was a Creality CR10, which I printed the crap out of that thing. I modified it. It looked nothing like a CR10 anymore.
I did the same thing with the Ender 3V2s that I started with. Modified the hell out of them, put the big tree tech displays on them, and changed motherboards and dual Z-axis supports, and went the whole 9 yards on them.
Yeah. But, well, the first thing you did with a CR10 was you got rid of the pusher rather than puller on the filament, because it was, I mean, that tube, the tube was, I don't know, it was a good 1.5 feet long.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to push anything that was softer than wire, that thing, it was going to jam in that tube.
So I guess my story starts very similar to Roger's. I started with DTF and DTG. People were offering me lasers all the time, but to be honest, I had no interest. I thought they're lame. That's not woodworking. Just being honest, I was that guy. And my uncle.
So you're one of those guys.
I was one of those guys. You know, I was just like, I don't know. And what it was is because my impressions of a laser was the commercials I saw on TV of the Glowforge, right? That was my version or my definition of a laser at that time. And he just wouldn't let it go. He's like, I don't know. I think you can make a lot of money. I don't know. So finally someone said they'll send me a Tezer. And I'm like, yeah, all right, go ahead, send it. And I started. I was like, actually, these are pretty cool.
The Glowforge had slick ads.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, they've practically disappeared. You never hear anybody talk about Glowforge anymore.
But most people who have no idea what a laser is or anything really about, it's becoming a household name. They somehow know that name, right? Kind of like X-Tool's becoming that. Like anyone knows lasers, everyone knows X-Tool, or they have one or not.
Yeah.
But now even people who don't have lasers are like, is it an X-Tool? I'm like, what the hell do you know about X-Tool?
Yeah.
David said hello from Milwaukee.
Yeah, and it's bamboo for 3D printers. There isn't a universal name for CNC stuff, not for home use. I mean, there's Onefinity, there's the CNC Lab guys, there's Shapeoko, there's just a whole bunch of them. There's no market leader per se.
Yeah, I was saying before we went live, and it's funny that Roger had mentioned it. He says, "Hey guys, can you hear background noise in the video?" And Roger's in full production mode right now, as you can see that.
I've got every 3D printer I have except one, which is broke down, is running right now.
And the reason I'm bringing that up is because I create these shorts of our lives, and I was creating these shorts, and as I was creating the shorts, I literally saw like Roger's shop grow, right, and manifest this into what it is today. And it was crazy because at first people in the live were even giving Roger a hard time. They're like, "Hey, it's too much background noise." Now here he is saying he has a mall running and you can't hear a thing. So something to be said about that, right?
Well, there's a big difference between a $200 printer and a $1,000 printer too.
Right. So let me ask you, Roger. I've asked this to you guys before. You know, the original intentions. Kind of, did you think that was was that your thought process buying a 3D printer that, hey, eventually I'm going to buy a lot of these? Was that a goal, or did it just start kind of snowball that way?
No, I started out with just getting one to play with. I mean, just kind of as a little hobby thing and see what they were and what I could do with it. Then I started to learn how to design stuff, and then I found out there was a market for it. And from there, it just snowballed, and pretty soon, well, hey, I want to buy this and this and this, and only had one printer, so I bought a couple more, and then I bought a couple more after that, and then I had a couple companies send me different ones. I had the Tebow Tarantula, I had the can't think of the name of some of them other ones, but they're all bed slingers.
Was your first 3D printer a Creality?
Yeah, it was an Ender 3V2.
Your favorite? You said?
Man, that was modern. That was the modern age.
Yeah. You said your favorite 3D printer, Roger?
Not by any means. Actually, I've got a Creality printer running right now because I am so hard up to get stuff done that I've pulled my Ender 3V3 out of the mothball, so to speak. I was going to give it to my granddaughter, and she wanted to know if she could pick it up this week. I said, "Well, wait another week." I said, "I've got one of my bamboo printers is down right now with a damaged hot end mount from that was user error that way that happened." But so that one's down till I get the parts here. But so I'm using the Creality.
The Ender 3 has automatic bed leveling though, right?
Yeah, the V3 does.
Yeah. So you never had to turn the big knobs on the bottom to level up the table, and there was always a warp in the middle of the workspace, so you could never really get the thing level because
my V2s were a constant battle and trying to keep them level and putting the stiffer springs in them. And
there was a company before Creality or around the same time. What were they? ANET A8 comes to mind. And they were just like, those things were catching fire. They were just terrible things.
Oh man! You had mentioned, Steve, last week that you were possibly thinking of purchasing a second 3D printer. Is that still in the thought process?
Well, no, I already have a bunch of 3D printers, but I've stored them all because the H2D is just my favorite. So as luck would have it, my H2C arrives tomorrow.
Nice. H2C.
Multicolor.
Yeah, what gets me is I had to spend $3,000 to get mine. He got one for free.
So last week, actually, they must have been listening because right after our live stream, the next day, I got a message from them to say, "Oh, we don't know how we missed your channel, but would you like to do some collaboration with us? We'll send you a printer. Which one would you like?" And I said, H2C sounds good. I was figuring because, I love Xtool, but when you say to Xtool, "Hey, I want to do a review of one of your lasers. Can you send me one?" They go, "Oh, can you do it without us sending you one?" It's like they're very thrifty, right? These guys were like, "We'll send you that, an AMS, an HT."
That's the one with the like the 5 or 4. What is it? The changers? That's the one?
6 nozzles. Yeah.
Nice.
So with
the
the one
right-
I
for the
bought,
right-hand side.
the one I ordered, I got the AMS with a HUC Pro. So I've got 2 AMSs and 2 HT units. So I have the capability of doing 10 colors if I want. I don't know, 8, 10 colors if I
Yeah,
wanted
that's
to.
what I'm doing.
But what gets me is I've contacted Bamboo several times about just being an affiliate because I promote their printers all the time. And it's, nah. So,
Yeah, they're funny company, because I did the same thing. I talked to them a couple of times and they went, well, and then all of a sudden it was like, hey, big surprise to us that you even exist. And it's like, okay. So
Nice.
and they
MC
gave
Phil
me
said hello from South Carolina. Hello.
but they do seem to be a very nice company to work with already, just in the time I've been talking to them.
Well, that's badass, man. Congratulations. That's cool. Kevin said every evening to evening, everyone on a flight from Connecticut to Atlanta at the moment. Thank you for checking in the
All right.
airport. It shows
We're
dedication.
in the air.
Yeah.
Waverly, Iowa, not too far from here, where I
I
am.
appreciate. Yeah, I
You
appreciate
tell them
everyone
that every
checking in.
week.
Yeah, but if let us know what you started with, what was your gateway, and if you have a plans, what's your next your big guy, the fish you're trying to get next.
Well,
Hey, Chris.
and how about you? Do you have a real CNC yet, Rick, or just still the backdrop, the green screen?
Oh man, if I turned my camera on, you'd see a real CNC has been real busy. That's for sure.
You still haven't seen anything.
So how many videos you got on it? So
Actually, my wife, I think I'm gonna get an. Because the way my wife was talking, she was asking me, "Do you have one of those things that make your phone follow you?" I'm like, "No," and she's like, "Why?" And I was like, "I don't know. I got the one for my laptop that do the webcams, but the regular one just fixed camera." Because it's weird when it's big, right? And so you're picking it up, and then like you hear every time you set it down. So I was like removing the audio, and then what's that?
It's just a gimbal.
Yeah. Right. So I think she's getting one of those for Christmas, because we were talking about how I was shooting the footage and how I was trying to move and not be in the shot, and so we'll see. I think she was hinting at it, but we'll see. I honestly, man, I've been so slammed with work, like busy work at work, and busy with orders, man. I've been.
I was a bit busy. I didn't. Today was my last day, I think, before Christmas. I finished I had to do 2 phone cases, and
was
the end of it.
I just got a wallet dropped off 5 minutes ago, and I got somebody else coming with one of those wooden things that holds your watch / your phones, like all these things with those built-in chargers. The only thing I hate is when somebody wants you to do something. I told her, "Is it wood?" "Yeah, it's wood." And I'm like, no. Is it wood, or is it like particle board with like, some kind of veneer over it or something?
Yeah.
I think so. Like that's the only thing I hate. And I'm real honest with people. Like, if you want me to engrave something that I didn't provide, if I ruin it, it's on you.
Yeah, I don't know if Jim's on, but I've had this conversation with him. Like, don't let customers supply their own materials unless it's like a one, like it's the only one they got, right? Because you got no control over their material.
Right. That's what this one who's dropping. She's like, it was $19 at Ross. Rick, if you ruin it, then just keep going. Just keep going until you get it dialed in, and I'll just go get another one. And then at least like you're good to go. I'm like, all right, well, that's fair.
Yeah, well, sure, if you're gonna do that.
Right. But
they bring you something and they say, "Oh, it's hardwood," and then you look at it and go, "Well, this is IKEA hardwood. This is this isn't like real hardwood. This didn't come from a tree. It came from a glue
It's
factory.
MDF with vinyl over the top of it. That's not real
glue
wood.
and sawdust."
Yeah. TTC 1940 said, "Good evening from Chicago. You're in Roger and I's backyard. Hello."
There's Jim right there. Yeah.
Hey, Tony. Chris said, "I thought the official elf was in green and red." Was in green, not red. Or is it red? what is it? Supervisor
Red,
elf colors.
red is.
I was just playing. What? Let me make an explanation here. I just came back from a thing where Santa couldn't be there for this thing for some disadvantaged children, and they were giving away some gifts to them for Christmas. And I was elected to be Santa's helper since Santa couldn't be there because he was sick. The guy that was going to play Santa. So I was Santa's helper, and I passed out the gifts to these kids. They're kids from homes where they are. I won't say they're abused or anything, but they're not well off.
Yeah.
And the parents can't afford, a lot of the stuff that the kids need. So the organization that I belong to, well, I'll say what the organization is. It's the Moose, the Fraternal Order of the Moose, and we help.
You got to say it with a little more bass. Go ahead.
I get to do it again on Sunday. I'm going to be playing Santa's Helper again on Sunday.
Nice.
I was hoping Santa's laser engraving would be on here. Maybe I could recruit him to fly into Illinois for the weekend.
He's a natural. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just sent him a camera for the Iker K140. Was it Iker K1? What is that? That's 41, right? I don't even remember.
40 or 60, whichever.
Yeah, I think it's the 40. He bought it off me. I had the camera put somewhere and I couldn't find it, and then I found it, so I just told him just pay shipping and I'll just send it to you.
So Gordon Gregory 4043 says, "Good evening from a windy Scottsbluff, Nebraska. And I know that wind is headed our way. We're supposed to get it tomorrow."
So Latinx Design say, hey, checking in.
Our winds on Friday are supposed to be in the 60, 65 miles an hour sustained. It's not even a hurricane. It's just wind. It's just Tuesday or just Friday.
So Rick Morris at 427 says, "Laser D1 Pro 10 watt must have been your entry level drug."
Yeah.
D1 Pro. Yeah, there's a lot of those around.
CO2 red and black. Hello from Nashville, Tennessee. I like it down there, especially on Printers Row. I love it down there.
Trucker is in Nashville tonight.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to go visit there. I think that's one of my bucket list items.
Oh, you go down to Nashville. If you like country music, go down to Printers Row. There, it's just phenomenal.
I laugh when people say that Mexicans and rednecks don't get along. I says, how well do you know a redneck or a Mexican? They both like lifted trucks. They both listen to country music. They both wear boots and hats. You want to keep going?
So you could say I'm
a lot
both.
more alike than they think.
So Chris says the Adam Stack P7 at 200 to 250 end up costing me over 40,000. That'd be interesting to know why that is.
We have to have.
Well,
we have,
that would
we
be
have to hear about that story.
Right? Yeah, that's where the addiction started. There you go.
Oh yeah, you had to buy a shop to put it in.
Yeah. So Kevin is saying, I was doing some basic woodworking and my wife seen someone's 80 CO2 laser, told me to get one. I didn't think I would like it, so I got the D1 10 watt to see if I liked it. Stupid move. Well, you can do things with a D1 you can't do with a CO2.
Yes.
You can do things with a CO2 you can't do with a D1. So
yeah.
Get both.
One thing you can do with both of them is swear at them because eventually they're all going to annoy you.
Okay, so the stupidest thing, when I got it first, I know you're supposed to stay in the room with the laser. It can cause a fire. That's a given. But I was just staring at it. It ain't gonna move any faster, Rick. But I was just memorized when I first got. I stood there the whole damn time.
Oh yeah, my first one too. I just had to sit there and watch it.
I still do that every now and again.
Even with my first 3D printers, I was just wow, and it takes I think the first thing I ever printed was the Gravity Cat that comes on their test file, and I just stand there and watch it for the whole 40 minutes of printing.
I don't think I would stop and stare at a complete 3D print job. They're pretty slow, but
yeah, I think
lasers are always
17 hours later. Yeah, need some New Balances. Watch that. But the thing too with the 3D printer, when I first started printing things, it prints weird, right? It doesn't always make sense the way it like does things. And I'm like, is it messing up? And you're like, oh no, it's just weird. Like when you have different layers, the way it, yeah, I was kind of confused at first.
Well, that's so you know, as a software engineer, among many other things, I would look at lasers, like you're using Lightburn, and then you watch the laser and go, why is it cutting in that order? Like, why is it going up over here and then it's coming back down here to do something? It's like, this is dumb. So,
Well,
you know, I tended to be a little more analytical when I was watching these things. It's like, you know, why didn't they fix this problem?
So
Yeah.
Chris is saying, I'm glad that Roger's not running Elegoo carbons. Yeah, those, I had one for a while. That was noisier than my Creality Under 3s. And I got rid of that pretty quick.
I think it's a typo. It's the noisiest printer. I heard, I read that as the nopiest printer, and I went, why does he say nope? So I actually have a Centauri Carbon 2 coming soon. Probably in the middle of January sometime. January is going to be like 3D printer month for me.
So Wesley said, a good evening from North Carolina. I received my 4040 Pro Max. I'm trying to figure out what 1/4-inch bits to get. I'm going to take and give the advice that was given to me. All the good bits that everyone's telling you to buy, don't buy them. And just go to Amazon and buy a big set that's pretty cheap. And then you're going to learn what bits you use. Because then once I started buying bits, man, I went down that rabbit hole. It's like when I started buying these, they're cool. And next thing you know, I'm up to $700. I'm like, did I really need those bits?
Yeah, you don't even need a big set. You need a 1/4-inch end mill, an 1/8-inch end mill, 3 different V bits, and a flattening bit, and maybe a bowl bit. That's about it.
That way, if you break it, it don't matter. Who cares? It literally costs you like $3, $6.
Yeah. Start with a 1/4-inch end mill when you're practicing, because they're hard to break. An 1/8-inch end mill bit will break instantly if you just stress it slightly.
Yeah.
And a 16th, well, you can break really quick.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah, just plunging it into a piece of wood a little too aggressively will snap a bit, twist it off.
So I bought 2 different Amazon sets that were like the blue bits. I remember Roger laughing at me. He's like, those aren't real ionized or whatever they're supposed to be. There's no way, not for that price.
Yeah, they're supposed to be cobalt or something.
Yeah.
And they're just like painted blue.
Yeah, and you know, at the end of the day, I still use some right now. I mean, I was lucky at first. Steve kept saying every week, "Did you break a bit yet? Did you break a bit yet?" And I was no. And I think because I was being overly cautious, and then once I started being a little more aggressive.
See, I think it was because you hadn't turned it on yet. But
no.
Well, what I found out from the Amazon bits, some of them really cheap ones, and they're good to start with and fool around with, but they don't necessarily break, they bend.
Yeah, so much for high carbon steel.
Yeah.
But those bits, so the difference between those bits and say an Amana bit, for example, the very first job, they're both the same. But by the time you get to like the 300th job, the Amana bit's still going strong, and you've gone through about 12 of these other ones.
Yeah, I think that's agreed with all bits in general. Yeah. Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, that's the real difference, right? It's just a case of they just don't hold an edge, and they dull quick.
Yeah, the big thing is with anybody getting into CNC is start out with the really, really cheap bits. You're either going to break them or bend them or screw them up, or don't go out and start buying Amana stuff and the high end bits. You're going to be really ticked off when you go to take that first pass and you break a $40 bit.
Yeah, you can buy 5 Amazon end mill bits for $20, or you can buy one Amana bit for $50. And when you break the cheap ones, you only weep half as much. Especially when I broke a brand new Amana bit. I used it like twice, and I had something sitting on my workspace, and I moved the thing over. Well, actually, I didn't move it over. I told it to go to the home position, and it didn't lift. And it just ran across this piece of material and went snap. And I went, oh, I hate that sound.
Yeah, I bought 3 flute bits. They're really nice for the HDPE.
Yeah.
Man, and those things, I was
For
scared. to use
those
them.
you want like corn bits or something, right?
Yeah, I was just scared to use them because I'm like, man, these stupid 3 bits were expensive as hell.
Oh no, you're not going to break them in plastic.
Yeah. Chris said Rick is going to be so disappointed if he gets socks and jacks instead of a gimbal. Yeah. You know, one of those questions you're like, why are you asking so many of these questions? And I think because Ricky and I were talking about how do you really record a CNC video? Because if I'm standing in front of the Masso controller, you're not really seeing it. We were even thinking about 3D printing a mount to actually just mount it to the spindle and then jump between 2 cameras and forget audio, right? Like it's pointless.
Oh,
right?
you don't. Yeah, there's no point in having audio anyway on a CNC.
Right. But you can dub it over. So we were just trying to figure out how to make some good footage with.
You could 3D print a camera, like a camera mount. I'd use a cheap camera though, in case it falls off and you run over it, because it's not going to stop a bit. Even a cheap Amazon bit isn't going to be stopped by something like a plastic camera.
Yeah.
Well, David is saying started with a 10-watt MechPow. Nothing wrong with that. Looking to buy a 30-watt WeCreat fiber from another laser user that upgraded to a 50. I'm not familiar with that brand.
Oh, they're pretty big actually.
Yeah.
They just, so they have pretty much 1-for-1 on the Galvo side what both ComMarker and Xtool have, but they just don't seem to get a lot of traction. And I don't know why. Like they have a CO2 laser too. Like that's where I first saw them. Was they had a 40-watt and a 60-watt.
Now we're on the subject of lasers. WeCreat sent me their Lumos, and that came today.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
I haven't taken it out of the box yet. That'll be something to do tomorrow.
So Lowe's sent me that big giant snow blowers. Hopefully we get some snow. I can actually show how it works.
Waiting to see what this WeCreat Lumos is like, because they say it's MOPA-like. It's not a MOPA laser. It's not.
No, it's a diode laser.
MOPA-like.
It's just an IR diode, right?
Yeah, you've got
what does that even mean?
The blue diode head.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to find out.
Same wavelength of light.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what they're sending you, a MOPA light.
It's MOPA-like. Like a MOPA, but it's not one.
Like
akin to a MOPA laser. I think that's a stretch because it's what, 5 watt or 10 watt? Is it even 10 watt? I think it's 5.
No, I think the IR side's a 5 watt. So it's like it's like the same thing, only different.
Yeah, they're both
like a
lasers.
Ferrari and a Pinto. Yeah, you know.
I'm gonna give them credit. I haven't tried it yet, so I may be impressed with it. It's a Galvo, so I'll have to wait and see what it's like.
Chris said IDC Woodcraft and Cutting It Close do have some good starter bits. Yeah, you know what I liked that Cutting It Close. Initially, I'll be honest, I cheated. I downloaded his library and I used them for some of those Amazon cheapo bits because I didn't know like where to even start.
Yeah, how is that cheating?
Because I didn't buy the bits from him initially, but I downloaded his library and used them.
Doesn't matter. I mean,
I know, but to show my support for his work, I bought 3 different sets from him. I bought that flute. I don't even remember the other 2. I haven't used the other 2. I just used the old flute bit. But yeah, you know, he's a good guy, you know, and he's a family-owned and operated business, so I showed my support. His library helped me out. Gary said, "Good evening."
Good evening from Cape Coral, Florida. Well, it's a little bit warmer down there than it is here.
Yep. I just booked a trip to Florida. I'm going to take Ricky to Disney World.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. Says great job, Roger, to step in. Kudos. Thank you.
So what Roger's not telling you is the reason he wore that shirt is because when he comes home, he gets to tell his wife, "He has to kiss the mistletoe."
Hey, there was some gals there tonight. I wouldn't have mind being under the mistletoe with, but don't tell my
wife. Shark 520 CNC.
That's not a bad CNC to start with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Onefinity Woodworker, Rolly Lasermatic 30 watt, and a Bamboo A1 combo. That's coming from David.
He started off with a big bang. It's
Yeah.
kind of like Sanders laser engraving, right? He went from a diode, from a little tiny diode to the Iker, and then he just like bought everything Monport has.
He's got a big CO2. He's got a big fiber
went like,
laser.
whoa.
Yeah.
Monport loves him.
Here, Chris is saying 2 sheds and a few lasers, CNC, 3D printers. Puts a big dent in 40K. Yeah, it can.
There you go.
Absolutely.
But if you can sell the stuff that you're making, more power to you. It makes it back.
This is what I would say. We always talk about side hustles, and there are some people who just do woodworking, laser engraving, CNCing, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to say, just for stress relief, therapeutic, whatever, And there's nothing wrong with that. But then there's some people who are actually using it as a secondary income, and I would say I would never leave the room with a CNC running, at least now, because I'm not really familiar with it. So I kind of still babysit in the same room, just in case something goes wrong. I would definitely not leave the room with the CNC with a laser, because anything could catch fire. I showed one of my pieces before. I did time and time again, and just all of a sudden MDF
I worry less about my CNC, and certainly the latest generation of 3D printers are.
The CNC, I just get nervous if I'm still nervous if like something to fly loose at some point, or
but it doesn't do that.
Well, it hasn't happened. Knock on wood. But
so like even if the material breaks loose, it's not going to like shoot off the table.
Okay.
And if a bit breaks, it's just going to fall down. It's not going to fly either.
Yeah, generally if a part breaks loose, the bit will end up breaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the point of me bringing that all up is that I almost think like a 3D printer is a lazy man way to make money, and I say that because like you don't need to babysit it. But if you look at anyone who's successful with a 3D printer, there's no such thing as owning one. It's just not possible, because no matter a bed slinger or a commercial grade, they're all slow. They're a little bit faster. They can do a little bit more colors. They got a little more tricks up their sleeves, but they're slow. So
certainly if you're in business, you're going to need more than one.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, sorry, I can't take another job. I'm doing a job this week.
Call me in 17 hours.
I'm going to show you one of my big sellers here. So, you go on Thingiverse or Printables or anything.
Hey, Roger.
What?
You said, I'm going to show you one of my big sellers.
Yeah.
No.
And you flashed your ass like
no, I don't have an OnlyFans page. That's cheap. So one of the things I have designed and sell a lot of, and this is very popular. You can find it on Thingiverse, and find a holder for DeWalt batteries.
Yeah.
Everybody makes it. There's all kinds of files around. But what if you got the big 60 volt and the 8 amp hour, the big heavy duty ones, and you want to be able to store them? This is one of our biggest sellers right here. And this is super heavy duty. It'll hold 4 of those big batteries, just like this. And you mount it on the wall, and 2 go up from the bottom, 2 go in from the top. They'll latch in. It's one of our biggest sellers.
What do you print
Roger,
that
the one
in?
I was making,
This PETG, PETG.
Yeah. I printed one of those in PETG. What is it? PETG what is it? HF. But I did the one where it has the handle and it holds 4. And the reason I like that is because I thought if guys are in a bucket, we always use drop a rope, pull stuff up.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. If you're climbing or you're dropping a rope or you're hanging it off your belt, I thought that'd be cool.
And something else you can do when you get into 3D printing, and you go down the rabbit hole like with Gridfinity, with the different storage things, and it's just there's tons of stuff to make. I'm going to switch screens here. So here is the
tool wall.
My tool wall right here, and we're doing. I did a bunch of remodeling down here. We're going to expand the print farm. The other side, I pre-printed some big spool holders up here, and I'm working on bringing all my inventory down here instead of having part of it down here and part of it out in the loft. And we want to have everything down here. So you also get to see the other side of things. The camera I usually use right there, and the screens I look at, and get to see all that kind of stuff. But this is there's two different kinds of honeycomb walls you can do. This is the HSW. The other one is multi-board, and they're both basically the same. They just don't directly interchange. But it's a great thing to mount your stuff on, and because before everything that was over here was laying on different tables and on shelves, and so now I've got it all in one place.
I'm getting ready to do that. I think after Christmas when I slow down on 3D printer. Right now I'm putting out orders, but all my tools are in those tough systems because I always carried them in my truck. Now that I'm not in the field anymore, it sucks. Every time I want to bring out a tool, I gotta unlatch them. So
I have printed a mountain of multi-board and all the bits and pieces around it.
yeah, so that's on my next wish list.
Okay, TTC 1940 or Tur 10 watt, which I broke in the first 2 weeks. Probably LM2. Drilled the hole through the motherboard trying to change the feet. Yeah, that sounds like the LM2. that would be the LM2.
Yeah, because the controller board is right there. Yeah.
Yeah. So TJ Michael says first 3D printer, 2 Bamboo X1Cs, running them 16 hours a day on average for 2 months, 2K on printers and every color PLA Bamboo offers. Now what a rabbit hole, but it's so fun to create and print, and yes it is. I have stacks of, well, I could actually take my camera here and zoom up a little bit to go up to my inventory on filament. That's all filament up there.
That's a lot, Roger.
Good height. So that's all filament, and I got a lot of gaps up there because I need to order some more. And my problem right now is one of the colors that I need the most of, they're sold out of.
What color you need?
It's a light brown.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Those are just refills up on the shelf, though, right? They're not spools.
A few of them are spools. Most of them are refills.
Yeah.
I haven't
couple of
ordered
them I couldn't get in refills, but I needed them, so ordered them with the spool.
I haven't ordered any refills yet.
Yeah, that's what I use all the time now.
What are you allergic? Are you allergic to what? Your computer or what?
No, there's so much sawdust down here. Like
I can't seem to get Sunlu filament in refills. I can only get it on a spool here for some reason. I don't know.
I'll be right back, guys. I gotta blow my nose really quick. Hold up.
I don't know if he's going to survive till he gets back.
Yeah.
Sounds fatal.
Yeah, I've been getting some good deals with Bamboo. I ordered a whole bunch of filament when I bought my H2C, and I got a huge discount on it. And it brought it down to pretty much the price of what Sunlu is.
Yeah, if you buy like 10 or 12 rolls, you can get some good prices.
And something we were talking about to everybody before we went live tonight was I watched a video from I think it was a channel was called The Next Layer, and he got to tour the Sunlu factory in China.
Oh wow!
And he mosaiced out a lot of, blurred out a lot of the different brand names on stuff. But since I was curious about it, I downloaded the video and was able to go through it frame by frame. So your Bamboo filament, your Sunlu filament, and your Elegoo filament is all coming from Sunlu.
Oh, look at that.
They are the biggest manufacturer of filament in the world. And there's a lot of other brands too, but they didn't show them all that I could see. And they were supposed to have everything mosaiced out, but if you catch the frame just right, and if you watch the video and you download the video and you can go frame by frame, you'll find it. You'll see Bamboo Labs, you'll see Elegoo, of course, and then Sunlu.
So the guy who runs the Next Layer channel, he also has a blog, video blog live stream thing where he has like industry leading kind of people on to interview them. And like he had, what's his name? The guy that did all the multi-board stuff. And they were talking about the state of multi-board and where it's going. And it's it's kind of deep. It's not like it's not like the banter that we have on our stream. Like they deal in deep, serious topics, right? Like the physics of how things work in 3D printers, for example. I've watched a couple of episodes. A buddy of mine recommended it, and I've watched a few of them, and there's some neat topics there.
Tim said another 12-hour day in the shop getting projects done for Christmas. Can't wait for the silly season to be over, but cha-ching, cha-ching.
So, Tim, you asked me if you could do a job on my E1, and then you didn't tell me what the job was. So,
well, the good part about this silly season is this is a lot of money.
Yes.
Right now. I mean,
Yeah.
if you got a side hustle going and you're doing things, I've got an order tonight. In fact, when I got done being sent as helper, I had an order for a bunch of these little 3D printed statues I do of a guy drinking beer out of a mug, all 3D printed, and he wants 10 of them. So he wants them by this weekend. Not a problem. I mean, I got printers to do it, but and they're $10 a piece, and they cost me about $1.50 to make. So
yeah,
I finished my last Christmas project today. Just a couple of phone cases, nice small order, a couple of custom phone cases. I actually did a Christmas card too, because I was playing with the E1 anyway, and I wanted to do a gold embossed Christmas card. It took about 10 minutes each for the phone cases and about 3 hours to do my Christmas cards. So,
wow.
But
Ordinary Woodworker said, hello from Portland, Oregon, running late. Better late than our brother. Thank you for showing up.
Never
late. Hey, Steve, have you heard anything from Longer about their e-print?
So they sent me, I was talking to Jenny there earlier in the week, and she said there's quite a few people would like to see reviews on it before they kind of commit to Kickstarter. So she asked me, so they literally don't have printers. Like I think they have 2 or something. Like it's really small number.
Yeah. She said
only have
one
2
of their marketing
prototypes.
team has one.
And so she said, she asked me if it was okay if she said to the Facebook group that I was eager to do a review once they had them. I said, yeah, sure. Like, it's new technology. I'm eager.
You got the same thing I did from Jenny. So
yeah.
And she joined the Facebook group a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and I'm anxious to play with this. I'm actually hoping they'll eventually send me one, because I want to play with it. I mean, I have my experience with Longer has been top notch.
Yeah, me too.
Right down the line. With the laser, the 3D printers, and I don't use any Longer 3D printers anymore because they're just bed slingers. But with their lasers and stuff, I mean, I have 2 V1s. I've got a Ray 5, and they're used constantly.
Yeah. Chris said I tried to leave the last weeks before Christmas free for urgent mega monies. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I'll do it up till Christmas Day. My wife gets mad sometimes.
No, not me. I'm done today. This week is the end, and then I'm done till like the middle of January probably. And I use that time to breathe.
So Gary, my true heart, says started with a Laguna CNC 2x3 10 years ago and still runs great.
Nice.
Good deal.
It's always good when your money holds value and keeps running.
Tim says he's still finishing jobs ordered 3 weeks ago. DTF went nuts this year. Yeah. Wow, he did 200 hats and hoodies. Wow.
Well, yeah, I had offers to get into DTF. I just didn't want to get down that rabbit hole.
So you can, though, if Longer sends you an e-print, you'll be able to do DTF because it'll do both UV printing and DTF.
Yeah, but not at a high production. But yes, you will be able to do it on.
I mean, it's not really a high production printer, right? It's not really that type of machine. But
so Kevin is saying, "Have a good night, everyone." About the land, I need to run to get my connection flight. Merry Christmas to all. I am very familiar with jumping between connection flights and airports, so good luck.
I'm less
familiar with it now. I've only been on one flight since I quit working. And
I said if it wasn't for the money, I would cover costs by about 2056. I do stress relief, anti-boredom, and able to help out others with their problems.
Yeah, well, it's you know, not everybody wants to do things for money, right? And like I've donated a few printers to like veterans. You know, they've got PTSD. They just need something to mellow out on, right? And so it's a great opportunity to do something good for that community.
Chris said maybe you need to employ Steve to do your overflow. He said I can't afford him. I've seen his house.
Yeah, my house was not my house when I bought it though. It needed a lot of work.
Hey, there's Mr. Grinch. Well,
how's it going, brother?
Steven.
Hey, you know, maybe I could recruit him to fly in here this weekend and play Santa.
Almost, yeah. It could
Yeah,
be an old
take
picture
that-
though.
take
Maybe
that mug shot back.
doesn't have the beard anymore.
He's got the beard for it. Actually, up until yesterday, I had not shaved for like a week, and I had a lot of the white growth. I mean, it wasn't long enough to be Santa.
You had the Hulk
Okay.
Hogan look going on?
Chris says, why does that remind me of why no one asks a pretty girl out? Because they assume she has a boyfriend partner. Now, with me, in my younger days, I was not shy about asking anybody. And a lot of my friends were saying, you know, how can you be like that? You know, they turn you down. They don't all turn you down.
Yep.
I was not shy about it. Hello, Portland from Halsey, Oregon.
All right, Steve.
Jim says, Steve, I've decided to only engrave my glassware. Yes, good idea. 2 stemmed wine glasses, 1 stemless wine glass, a champagne glass, and a martini glass. Yep. All these
The problem
glasses
with glass,
have
we
a
talked about this
curve
last
in
week.
only one direction, and that's important.
Yeah, we talked about this last week. The problem with glass is like there's so levels of different quality, right?
Yeah.
So like,
and the thing
how
is,
do you-
like Jim's doing stuff for restaurants and bars, right? Well, they are not buying the best glass. They're buying whatever is cheap.
and at the end of the day, even if it's not the best, the point is you've had a chance to play with this and experiment with it, dial in your settings. You're not just throwing a glass and like, can you make this? And there's no spares, right?
Yeah.
And
I mean, I don't know,
you're not
like
being,
if you've been in bars, you know, if you get a wine glass, you'll see that the stem has a bit of a bend in it sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like these things are super cheap. They're paying like a dime for these things.
Yeah, if you get into a glass like made by Libby, you've got a decent glass. If you get a glass made like you go to Dollar Tree and get, there's a 50-50 chance it'll shatter when you're trying to engrave on it.
Yeah. Well, and this was the experience Jim was having. And well, there's 2 things, because it was also curved in both directions, right? So with a UV laser, it is brutally difficult to get focus on that.
So there's Santa's laser engraving. We were talking about you earlier. I could recruit you for this Sunday. So hello everyone. For Santa events remain, and I can start learning my AD5X. Santa is tired. Well, I had to play Santa's helper today, and I got to do it again on Sunday because Santa here is under the weather. If you want to fly into Illinois, I'll buy you a beer.
What a deal.
he said, hey.
I'll pay a couple beers.
Yeah, I hear being a Santa Claus pays pretty good money if you work at like a mall or something.
There's a Bass Pro Shop. Every year we get our pictures taken at, and the guy is like, man, he looks like Santa, right?
Yeah.
And 2 years before that, 2 years before that, I went on a ride with him. I didn't intentionally mean to, but I went on a charity ride and he was there. So when we went in for our photos, I was like, hey man, good to see you, brother. And he turns, looks at me, goes, hey. And my son's like, you know Santa? I was like, yeah, I rode Harleys with him before.
Yeah, my normal studio lights are not down here tonight. I'm working off of a little light. My normal studio lights are not down here. They're set up on at down at the Moose for taking portraits of kids with a backdrop, which I'll be doing tomorrow and Friday.
He did not mean that in a weird.
I was
creepy
going to
way.
say, like, you're bringing kids to your basement to take photos.
Oh, it's down at the Moose Lodge here, and where we take photos of the families and kids, and we do not charge anything for the photos.
Oh, nice.
That's cool.
So there you go. Steven says he'll be happy to go be Santa Claus. I'm pretty sure you'll have to buy his plane ticket for him, though.
Bosnian Trucker said, I want to get into CNC. What machine would you recommend a budget $2,500 to $3,000? A Shapeoko.
Not a Onefinity?
Can you do that for that price?
The new one you can. The Elite 2.
Okay, then yeah. It's
so the Elite 2, so there's a couple of things. First of all, it's cheaper anyway, I think, but you can also buy it without the screen, without the big screen, and you can just use a laptop.
Yes, so PWO and CNC has their own version too that they're coming out with, the smaller ones. It's not going to be the big guy.
Yeah, I think if you buy the CNC and you use a laptop instead of the big screen, you're going to save like almost $2,000, I think.
Yeah, that Masso controller is some bucks.
Yeah.
I think what happens is a CNC is cheap. It's all the bells and whistles that get you, right? It's like buying a plain Jane vehicle and you start adding accessories, right? Doesn't come with...
but on the Elite 2s with the new controller, the Redline controller, all of the smarts are in the box rather than in the display. Like in a Masso control, like in the Onefinity Elite, the Masso controller and the display are all in that one box that you stare at, right? So here, all you have to do is plug an HDMI cable into their controller, and it basically does everything that you're going to do from the pre-mounted display. So you can save a ton of money because laptops are dirt cheap. Like pick up a used one, right?
That was the whole reason I wanted it. So I guess
the big display. I mean, I like it, but there's no question that thing costs a ton of money.
Right.
Like it's like a 15-inch display.
Right. So that was the whole reason I wanted it. Versus so many other guys. I liked it. That was like the selling point for me.
Yeah. Now the
one trucker, I wouldn't say it's not the spindle, and it doesn't matter. What brand you get. You can put any spindle you want on. What's really going to matter is you're going to have your alt mills, you're going to have your Onefinity, you have your PWO, CNC, and Shapeoko, right? Those are like your four name brands you're going to get. And really, what for that price, everything all in with all the accessories, you're just going to get this, not the biggest one. You're going to get the one size smaller.
Yeah. So Bosnian Trucker, unless you want a brand new one, you can get, especially now that the next generation of Onefinities is out there, you can get Onefinity Elites now for quite a discount on the for sale market. Look on Onefinity has a user forum. Look on there, and there's always people selling them. I sold mine on. Well, actually, I didn't sell mine on there, but I was going to. But I know a few people who did sell theirs, and a couple of people who bought them on there.
And the other thing is to keep in mind too that look at lead time. Steve made fun of me because mine took so long, but I think the big advantage Steve has over me is that he's in Canada.
For so many reasons, that's an advantage. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it is what it
for one thing, I don't have snow on the ground like you do.
But yeah, so where it's coming from makes a big difference too.
Yeah, it doesn't have to go through customs. Although here they sell them in US dollars, which is a bit odd to me. But
Chris said a general rule: the cheaper the glass, the better the results.
I don't know. I may have to disagree with that a little bit because
I kind of would too. I think
I've done it with Libby glass. I've never had a problem. The glasses from Dollar Tree, you're got a 50-50 chance of them shattering.
Yeah, this is especially true with UV lasers, because if the glass has impurities in it, you're going to get all kinds of weird scatter, and you'll get engraving where you didn't expect it to be engraved, and it's just not nice.
So in case anyone was unaware, Santa's Laser Engraving, if you subscribe to his channel and write your Christmas wishes in the comments of one of his videos, he'll let Santa know what you've been asking for. Tim said, "Hey Santa, I want an X2 F2 Ultra for Christmas. I've been a very good boy this year."
Tim, if you want an F2, let me know, because I'll soon have one up for one. Well, I won't say up for sale. I'll have one to get rid of soon.
Could said I
But
used
you
to
want
be
an
a mall
F2
Santa.
Ultra, I believe, not an F2.
Used to be a mall Santa. I went to be the photographer and got hijacked. Oh wow, that sucked. My wife's aunt, who lives in Canada, was just robbed last week. Somebody walked up to her and asked her for a restaurant. She gave them directions, and she told her, "Oh, I just want to give you, a thank you." Whatever. Walked up to her, and she had a big diamond hanging on her neck, and she ripped it off. They're pretty wealthy in Canada, and I don't know. Canada has crime too.
Of course we do.
Yeah. Santa's Laser Engraving. It's amazing how much leverage parents use when you know Santa. That's so funny. I went to the post office yesterday to drop off a whole stack of cards I mailed out. And in the post office, they had a big giant mail box that said, for Santa. And I said, "You see this? This is if you're being bad. You make sure I can send a letter right away to tell him to take back some of your gifts." And he looked at me. I'm always on the good list.
I'll tell you a little story here. The place we stay at in Mexico, and you've seen it because I'll be doing it again there from late January. The guy that owns the condo that we stay in, his name also Roger. He looks just like Santa Claus. I mean, just like Santa Claus. Got the white beard and the long white hair, and he plays Santa for the different villages around Mexico for the poorer children and that, and they have different gifts they give out and different things they do down there. But when we were down there last year, I had my great granddaughter with, who was 4 years old at the time, and I took her down to the pool. I said, "I want you to meet somebody," and I took her over and I says, "You know who this is?" And she looked and she goes, "No." I says, "This is Santa Claus. He's on vacation." And her eyes got real big, and of course I already told him what her name was, what her parents' name were, where they lived. I mean, I told him everything ahead of time. So he's talking about all this stuff about, her name's Paisley, and have you been good? And you're talking about your mom and dad, Brittany and Shane, and where you live, and about the chimney on your house, and so all she talked about when we got back from that trip was, and told all her friends and everything, I saw Santa Claus. He was on vacation. He was in the swimming pool in Mexico. And I took pictures, so she could back it up. The kids aren't going to believe that. So, I mean, that was just priceless. Just priceless.
Tim said, "Will there be a Christmas Eve show this year?" There will not be a Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve show. This is our last live of the year.
I got family things to do Christmas Eve, and I'm doing a big dinner function on New Year's Eve.
So after today's live, we'll see you next year.
So TTC 1940 says my glassware is either Libby or a Copa from Webster. Yeah, they make a Copa's a good brand of glass too.
Santa's Living Great said, "Tim, did you mail that list to me?" Laugh out loud.
Yeah, Mr. Grant says have a Santa gig Saturday for the food bank. Good deal.
Nice one.
You got to definitely have to look for
it. Tim said, Santa's Living Great. I'm not sure if I'm off the naughty list yet. Oh, look at this. Lodging Trucker said he has 5 laptops, so that's how he's running all his equipment.
I can relate to that because I also have 5.
Yeah. They add up quick. Santa's Living Great said, "Secret is if you can still make it in by the 23rd.
So Tim, I have a Christmas gift for you.
Uh-oh.
The next time I see you. So
You can't announce what it is?
Well, I could show them actually. I think.
There you go. Here we go. Hold
It's
on. Let me get the drum roll.
It's in this box. Oh, it's not drum roll worthy. Let's see if I can open it here. Comes in this nice fancy box. It's this very shiny tumbler with the Makera logo on it.
Ah, very cool.
So you can have that if you want.
Sounds like Graven says Santa has even asked Miss Claus for the F2 Ultra UV. Right, you said, can one of you that has the F2 UV tell me that what frequency settings does? How does it manifest when you adjust it? All the videos always keep saying keep it at 40, never change.
Yeah, so I've been meaning to do a video on this because there's fiber lasers and UV lasers have generally two settings that matter. One is the pulse duration, so Q pulse, or they call it, I think, just actually linger time or something on Xtool Studio, and the other is the frequency. And between those two, so the frequency is how often is the beam hitting the material, and the pulse duration is when it hits, how long is it hitting. And between those two, you can get different color. If it's a fiber laser, you can get depth. And the reason people usually tell you to leave it at 40 kilohertz on a F2 UV or any UV really is because they work on just about any material with that setting. And you don't really see a whole lot of difference if you change it. It's just the nature of a UV laser.
Yeah. Chris said, maybe I forgot you guys don't have the same safety regulations we have on cheap glasses. Great Lake Laser Supplies. Thanks for jumping in. Hey.
Hey, man.
Looks like you're up, Roger.
Oh, so Santa's laser engraving, that is the moment Santa's worked so hard for, whether it's during the season or off season. I get a lot of off season recognition and give them a laser engraved coin. Well, that's cool.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I haven't done many coins lately.
So Great Lakes Laser Supplies, I'm helping a local nonprofit set up a brand new laser. I think I'm ready. What surprises should I be ready for?
Depends on the laser.
Yeah.
What kind of laser are you talking about?
If it's an X-Tool laser, the only surprise is plug it in and turn it on, and it'll light. But Steven says, Steve, I thought the box you opened was a dart case. I have not forgotten. It's just been, this year has been crazy for me. We got to find you somebody. So the problem now is I can't send anything to the US. The paperwork is just insane. So we got to find somebody in the US who's got a CNC. Maybe wonder if Clack will do something.
What are you trying to do?
So I made a dart box for Steven a year ago now, almost. Okay. And I never did send it to him. And the reason is because I actually saw a better design on the Vectric site. Did one.
Hey, you told me about that. I should just print it myself.
And I wanted to make that one, but I have not had, anytime I have a minute where I'm not working, I fall asleep. So it's been crazy. But if we can find somebody in the US who's got, who uses Vectric, we can get the file to them and get them to make you one.
Well, I got to step away for a moment.
TTC 1940. If one is changing the lens size for the first time on a gavel besides changing the lens, is there anything else I should do? Make sure you put the lens cap on it. Try not to touch the lens at all.
Yeah, leave the lens cap on until you get it changed.
Right.
And when you're taking the existing one out, put the lens cap on before you remove it, because inevitably your hands are going to get on it, and it's just work to clean it.
That's it. And I'd put it back in the box. I keep mine stacked right next to my laser here. I got 4 different lasers, 4 different lenses.
Yeah, your comm marker lasers, I don't know, it's about a 5 or 10 turn removal of the lens, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, no,
it's ultra fine thread though, so you got to be careful you don't
cross thread it. Yeah, and definitely put the cover on it so you're not doing this and you're setting it down on your counter and then the
That's the one thing I love about the X-Tool UV laser. It's got like a quarter turn thing. It's just got pins on the lens, and you just put it in and give it a quarter turn, and it's on.
Nice.
It's so nice.
Gray Lakes Parts said 1 laser.
The 1 laser Hydra 3 or 13. Yeah, there won't be any surprises. I mean, as long as the thing didn't get banged up in shipping or something, and you have to do an all-in, you're probably okay.
Speaking of banged up in shipping, I think Skylar must have posted that picture of her laser on every known laser Facebook group to Facebook. I see that.
Well,
picture
it's probably the kind of photo that would go viral anyway, right? Yeah, I never got back to her to find out if the thing actually worked. It looks like a comm marker laser. You can kind of see the blue box inside the whatever happened to the cardboard box.
Yeah. Yeah, right, Roger?
Yeah, I had to check on the wife for the whole thing.
Chris said, TTC 1940, my first 2 steps are loaded calibration for the lens and swap focal stick for the lens.
Yeah, that's Jim has learned many lessons about the focus, so I think he's got a focal, a stick for his other lens. So
this next question, I actually asked you guys last week. It said, David said, what humidity should PET G filament be at, and can this SMB recharge in daily use from the microwave? So,
okay, your humidity for PET G, actually for PLA as well, should be 20% or less. And it just so happens, if I can reach this here, I have a tub of desiccant here I just took out and recharged. Now it still looks blue, but it's not dark blue. So I need to put this, and I'm going to do it in the oven at 250 degrees. I'll spread it out on a couple of cookie sheets for 2 hours at 250. If you want to do it in the microwave, put your microwave on the defrost setting and run for 12 minutes. But don't try to do a whole ton of it at once.
I do mine in the microwave, and I set the power to like 25 or 30% and do different like shots of about 4 minutes a piece, 3 or 4 of those.
So
you don't have to do it every day though, man. This stuff can absorb a ton of water. So
yeah,
get the kind that changes color when it needs to be cooked. And
mine changes from a dark blue to, if it gets really wet, it gets pink. But when it starts to get into a light blue and bluish pink, and that means the humidity of it is about 30%, then I change them out. And I just got done changing them out on all the printers behind me. I still have to do my A1s, and once I do the A1s tomorrow, I'll put all the stuff in the oven.
So I asked you guys what should the filament be, because mine was at like 28. I think 18. Yeah, and so the AMS Pro that came with the H2D Pro had a power supply. Now, when I bought a second AMS 2 Pro, it didn't have a power supply.
Yeah, you can buy a power supply on Amazon.
Right, but it didn't tell me that it didn't come with the power supply when I was checking out.
Oh, yeah. If you dig around, it would have told you that the
no, but what I'm saying, just buying it should have been like, hey, you need to buy this, like, you know, or hey, more.
Yeah, well, it's still cheaper to buy them on Amazon because the bamboo one is.
It was only $14 straight from them.
Yeah, you can probably get one on Amazon for 10.
Well, if I look at one of my printers here, so the inside the AMS is. It says
mine
10%.
are running at 9 now.
It says 10%, and the ambient is 22%.
Yeah, mine's at 9 to 11.
I did get one of my AMSs down to 0, and it was
wow!
Oh, holy cow! Like, you open the thing and you can hear psst, like it's just. It's brutal.
How many times did you run it? That's the thing.
Well,
it's 12 hours.
So I had just recharged the desiccant, and I put all the little canisters back in the AMS, and I pushed the start button, and it ran for, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. And the next morning when I went into my shop and looked at it, it said it was 0. And the other one was at 4.
Yeah, because you turn
So
that on.
there's
It's
no
12
question
hours.
that filament is dry at that point.
Well, the hygrometers I use here do not display anything below 10%.
Yeah,
the
the displays, they only go down to 10.
Yeah.
Which is too bad because most of the time you're below 10.
But I'm sure that inside the AMS it's well below 10. And
Yeah,
I'm printing right now with Pet G
Can
on
you
1,
not-
2, 3, 4 printers. So
Well, on an H2D, you can look on the display and at the AMSs, and it'll tell you what the humidity is. Can you do that on a P2
not
or a
the
P1?
not on a P1.
Oh,
No, I have the AMS1 on all 4 of those printers. And the Anycubic S1 over there has got a dryer built in, but it doesn't give you humidity levels. So I've got a hygrometer on that, and it says 10, so it's down the
So
minimum.
Roger, I noticed all your filament are just sitting in the box. Have you ever done the whole put it in the cereal box, plastic container and all that, or you don't?
No,
do that?
I mean, if you look, well, here, you see there's a whole bunch of them up here on the wall. They're just open. They're just wide open down here. And before I would go to use those, I'll dry them.
Okay.
I'll put them in one of my dryers. But I don't screw around with the seal. I used to screw around with the sealed box and the desiccant and the bags, and I don't even mess with that anymore.
yeah. I just store them. Well, PLA I'm less concerned about, but Pet G I store, or TPU, I just put them in big Ziploc bags.
Now, if you're gonna pair with ASA, you absolutely have to have that down to like less than 5% humidity.
Yeah, well, TPU is the same. It's got to be super dry.
Yeah, TPU has to be super dry. I don't do ABS, but I do ASA from time to time.
I asked on the our Facebook group if anyone uses certain filament. I forget what it is. I have to look it up. I don't know off the top of my head, because I saw that airless basketball.
Yeah,
and I thought that looked so cool. But that was a ton of people printing that, trying to see what will get you the best bounce.
probably 85. 90 would be too rigid, probably.
He said, "Yeah, that was pretty cool."
80 or 85. Cool. Well, you're trying to get the same bounce as a basketball, right?
Right.
So, but I think it's designed for printing on 85.
That's one of them things where, if you want a basketball, go to the store and buy a damn basketball.
Well, so I keep going through this when I'm printing these multi-board bins too, right? It's like, yeah, I can take 14 hours to make one of these, or I can go to, our equivalent of Harbor Freight, and I can buy a whole rack full of these things for $20.
Yeah.
So funny you say that, Steve. So I don't know if you saw it in the videos. Ricky and I have been working on this Lego table for him. And we're printing these Legos, like the full sheets, right? It's like glued to the table. And he says, "Hey, Dad, do you know they sell these at Dollar General?" Like, what?
But where's the fun in that?
So I went and looked, and they're actually really cheap at Dollar General. Cheap in price, and the way they're made as well. Like the backside is hollow.
Yeah, they're not real Lego. They're some off-brand, but they happen to have the same pin density as Lego, right?
Yes. But we've been having fun with the 3D printer. We made them a track and a garage, a Hot Wheels garage with a real functioning garage door. So, yeah. My wife's one of those people. She likes everything to be in bins. She likes to stack everything.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that's why these multi-board bins are nice, because you have a lot more control over what you're printing. You can build them stackable, and they all lock together into a perfect shape for whatever you're trying to fit it into.
Yeah.
And then if you happen to be, I'm going to switch my video again here. If you happen to be into the Gridfinity rabbit hole too, you can print these shells that hold Gridfinity components, and the stuff you can do with this, and I mean it's just phenomenal. I've got, of course you can't see it down here, but down low I've got DeWalt battery charger here. I got 2 battery holders, and it's all just it's a great way to go.
Yeah. Gridfinity, I only use that for drawers.
Oh, I use it for all kinds of stuff.
It's good in vanities. I have my desk drawers in my shop are all Gridfinity bins.
And I've got all my different hardware, whether it be M2, M3, M4, M5, got in these little bins, and it's all Gridfinity, and it fits into a little cabinet, and I can pull them in and out.
Yeah.
Sanders Living Grave said, first of my many 3D printer questions to come, is it better to have loose descent or to have to use the packet types?
The packet types are not really rechargeable. When you have the loose stuff, if you 3D print the little containers for them to go into your AMS or your ACE or whatever, and then when they get saturated, just dump them out and pour some new stuff in, and take the old stuff and recharge it in the microwave or the oven.
Make sure you use the one in the kitchen, because your wife will really appreciate you.
I wait till she goes shopping.
Of course, because I do so much at once, I do it in the oven, but it doesn't make any smell in the house or anything.
Yeah, it has no smell at all.
Yeah,
and the only thing it's off gassing is steam. So
yeah, but Chris says my hydrometer is only go down to 10%. So how low the actual is? If it says 10%, you're good.
Yeah.
Anything below 20%, you're good.
Yeah, and the Bamboo Labs, the H2Ds and up, I think it'll tell you right on the screen display.
Yeah.
So, JD Fender said, I just sneezed super hard and turned my pants into a brown slip and slide.
Oh, TMI.
Yeah.
Hey, it's happened to everybody at least once in their life, man.
Dry filament is required.
Yeah. See, I was debating on printing those. I saw it on Maker's World. It's like a case that you can put them in, and I thought, like, kind of what Steve was saying, 14-hour print for something, like, scratching my head.
Yeah, for a 20-cent Ziploc bag.
Yeah. So
or go to the Dollar Tree and get them cereal boxes and plastic ones.
Yeah.
Throw it in there with some desiccant packs.
Yeah. The problem is that I have a decent amount of filament now, and where the hell would I put all those cereal boxes? They're big. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it exactly what you said, Roger. I'm gonna dry it as I use it. Dry it as I need it.
Yeah, the problem is it can take hours, right? So if you just
12
need
hours.
something, well, there's not usually 12, but if you just want to do something quick and you got a dry filament, it's already a slow enough process. You don't need to add the filament dry.
I have 10 colors loaded, and those are probably my primary colors. So my primary colors would be always good to go, right?
10 colors. How do you get 10? Oh, because you got an HT and the external.
Yeah, I got.
Yeah.
This dryer here will dry a whole roll in about 6 hours. This is made by Sunlu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 2 HTs and 2 AMS Pros. Chris said, I have heard about activated graphene, how addictive Graphinity is.
Yeah. So I just had so all of my bins are gray, like my multi-board bins. The shell of the bin is gray and the drawers are orange. And I have many spools of gray and orange. I've just two more of each came in yesterday because I'm going to use them.
Between the Gridfinity and the multi-board or I'm using HSW, which is similar to multi-board, but you get down that rabbit hole and there's so many things you can make. There's so much stuff you can do with it. You'll be printing stuff for days.
Yeah, there's also Open Grid. I have some Open Grid stuff too.
It's called PLA Flex. That's what it was called, that they use for the basketball.
PLA Flex? It wasn't TPU?
No, PLA Flex.
Huh.
The guy who made the original design, he made this huge video on trying like every brand you could think of and did this bounce test to see what and PLA Flex was the best results.
Yeah,
And he wasn't
are you gonna take 20 hours or more to print one?
I know
of those?
this kid.
Actually, that's probably like a 2-day print.
So one of my friend's sons, he is like, you ever just meet someone you're like, that dude's gonna be on TV one day? That's been him since like grade school.
I've met lots of kids who go, that kid's gonna be in jail someday. But
Yeah.
I haven't met any that I think
like,
are gonna be on TV.
This kid is just like a freak of nature when it comes to basketball. And I wanted to print one and give it to him. Because if he wasn't played on it and everyone's always recording him, that video would probably get a ton of attention. Yeah.
Oh, are you? Do you not feel any guilt at all using a child to get views?
No.
It's not even your kid.
No, not at all.
At least you're honest.
Tony's saying Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah, be careful when you sneeze.
Yeah, I think my allergy medicine just wore off, and I'm sitting around.
Yeah, this is what I thought too. Like Flex, I think what they're calling Flex is like TPU 90 or something. It's flexible, but it's not as flexible. It's not rubbery like 85. And the good news is you can put that in your AMS if it's 90.
Yeah, don't put regular CMA TPU in an AMS. I can tell you why.
No. Yeah, me too.
That's
one of those things you hear people say, oh, you can't do it, and you just really have to know why.
Yeah.
So you got it jammed up and broken in there?
Oh, it was. It took me a couple hours to get that mess figured out.
Yeah, it took. Well, it didn't take me a couple hours, but it was kind of a mess.
I've only had an issue twice, and that was with the Creality rolls. Never once. I've went through 6 rolls, and I know, 6 rolls, that's nothing. But I went through 6 rolls of bamboo so far, and 3 rolls of Creality, and 2 out of the 3 rolls were in Creality because that bend at the end got stuck.
Yeah, when I transfer spools from the cardboard spools over to the bamboo plastic spools, I look at that in the center and I break that off.
Nice.
So that it doesn't get hooked when it gets to the end.
If you can.
Well,
sometimes it's buried in the bottom of the spool, right?
When you're doing the cardboard spool, you pull the side off, you'll see where it's hooked in on the notch, and you can just cut that off.
Chris said there's a difference between can't and shouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, so yes, so they say you shouldn't, and then you find out why you can't.
Yeah. Because I did that, and what got me a big thing was I was starting to get really ticked off at it, so I pulled on it really hard to try to get it back out. Then it broke off inside. Then I had to take the whole damn thing apart.
Yeah. So I had this past week, I make these little plastic inserts for the spools that have the filament.
I want to print those. I want to print those.
Yeah, I'll send you the design.
Okay.
I should have brought them tonight, and I could have showed you. I was still working on them, but I had one of those, and I was playing with it, and I dropped it, and I dropped it in the AMS. Now, there's like one hole in an AMS where that thing can go down and get buried in the bottom, and I found it like direct hit, and I watched it, and it's like, damn it. So I actually had to pull the AMS out. I was then trying to figure out whether I should take the AMS apart to get this thing out. But I did manage to finally rattle it out to a point where I could see it through the clear bottom, and then take a long set of tweezers and get the thing out. But it was a pain in the ass.
So, Steve, any special plans for Christmas this year?
I am going to rest. That's my only
plan. What about
yourself,
Roger?
Well, I got a thing going on. We got a few relatives over on Christmas Eve, and then we go to the daughter and her husband's house with the granddaughter and great-granddaughter on Christmas Day. And I don't have to do any cooking.
Yeah,
my wife's hosting this year.
We'll probably have my brother and sister-in-law over and have some turkey. I like when people come and help me eat turkey because I'm not a huge fan. But
Speaking of turkey, I have 3 turkeys that are like living in my front yard. I don't know where the hell they came from. They're hiding under the bush.
they're probably wild. There's lots of wild turkeys around.
Yeah, I have 3 of them. My wife's like, those are some weird looking chickens. I'm like, that's a turkey.
What you need to do is get you a crossbow, and then you can have one for dinner.
There's 3 of them. They don't look very big. Like,
yeah, well, if they're wild, they walk a lot, right? So they don't have a lot of body fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not like domestic turkey. I mean, a wild turkey, even tastes different, but it's good. It's really good.
Yeah, there's 3 of them in my front yard right now, hiding under a bush.
Well, that's okay. By next year, you'll have 20.
Well, Chris says I had a piece of filament, I think, fragmented out, broke, just big enough to jam. I've had that happen before. I've had filament break inside a PTFE tube. And speaking of filament, let me go grab a hot end over here. I'll show you a little trick.
Wow.
I think Roger's
fragmented
packing.
a piece of filament.
So,
Roger, you packing?
What?
I said, you packing?
No, that's my cell phone.
Oh, okay.
People ask me that all the time. You got open carry? I go, open carry for what? Well, you got a holster there. I said, my phone's in that. So this is a hot end. Rick, you might want to blow this up so I can show this a little better. Okay, you've got a hot end that's clogged, and you can a lot of times they do what's called a cold pull, and it doesn't always work. And you tried the needle and it doesn't work. So take a small Allen wrench. I call them alien wrenches. Heat the end of it up.
Go over because your left hand's almost out of the shot. The other way. The other way. There you go.
Okay, so take an Allen wrench here, a small one that'll fit inside the opening, and heat it up with a torch or a lighter, and stick it inside the hot end all the way down. And as soon as you get all the way to the end, wait a couple seconds and then pull. When you pull that out, it'll take everything out inside that hot end, and 99% of the time it'll clear that clog. So you're not throwing away a good hot end. So just a little suggestion for anybody with a A1 or a X1C or a P1. I go through this every once in a while. I'll get a bad clog. It's a good way to clear it.
Roger, you're saying pull it out. Can you just push it all the way up, or is there something stopping it from going all the way out?
What happens is it gets clogged. This is a 0.4. It gets clogged down here at the end with some kind of foreign matter or whatever. And when you do, they do what they call a cold pull, where you put filament in and then pull it before it's at the full temperature. And a lot of times that'll clear it, but a lot of times it won't. Then you get one that's just absolutely clogged. A little trick I saw, it was on Bamboo's wiki, to take one of these little Allen wrenches, heat it up on the end, wear gloves because the other end gets hot too, and put it down in there, take it all the way down to the end, wait a couple seconds and pull, and it'll pull everything out of it.
Yeah, it usually happens when you're changing filament types, because you'll get crap from the old filament and the new filament.
Especially if you're going from PLA to PET G.
Yeah.
Or
Black
back.
said the wild ones are not like butterballs.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, they're a little less fatty and a little more gamey than a farm turkey.
Yeah, they make some funny noises too.
So Santa's asking how many dry cycles can filament go through? I assume it will become brittle after so many. It becomes brittle when it gets damp.
Yeah, PLA does, yeah.
Yeah, PLA will snap and break and drive you absolutely crazy. If it gets over 30%, you can guarantee you're going to start snapping filament.
So you can't have dried it too many times to actually hurt it.
No.
No.
Oh, okay. There you go. I didn't realize turkeys could jump so high either.
Yeah,
they jumped and landed on the top of the 6.
They don't fly gracefully, but they can fly.
Yeah, they jumped straight up and landed on the top of a 6-foot fence. And my dog came out.
Chris is saying, never thought of an Allen wrench, too obvious. like I say, it's not my idea. I saw it on Bamboo's Wiki
Yeah.
to do that, and I've done it on hot ends. I've got 4 over there I need to clean out. We got to do something about Rick. He's coming down with something there.
It's my allergy medicine. I'm telling you, this whole area is just filled with sawdust right now.
Your allergy medicine? Are you allergic to your allergy medicine?
No, it wore off. It wore off.
Starting to sound like you got Palpatius of the Punk. There he goes again.
It wore off.
I'll do this one. Jim said he made great headway trying to get white on slate. Hey, finally. Triple glazed before engraving with my CO2 laser. Yeah, I was going to say, you've got a CO2 laser. You should be able to get very good white engraving on that. And it'll be fast relative to your UV laser. So, very good. Well, Rick tangles with the ferocious alligator.
When he use an Allen wrench with a handle, that would be another option too. But I've got a lot of these little Allen wrenches that came with all these little lasers and printers, and I've got tons of them. You
usually have a million of those.
Yeah, so I just put a glove on and
here's one
heat it up with a lighter, and actually just a Bic lighter is good enough to heat it up.
This is an interesting question, Roger. So
okay, so transfer from a cardboard spool to plastic. What do you use to transfer? I guess I don't know. We're not really set up where I could demonstrate how to do it.
I can tell you how I do it.
But maybe in a future video, maybe next month when we get on, I'll actually show you how to do it. It's very, very easy.
Yeah.
You just got to make sure that the spool, your cardboard spool, is compatible with a bamboo spool.
Yeah, and you'll learn that the hard way.
Yeah, like you can don't use anything from Anycubic because their inside spool is too small. But if you have like from Tech Bears or Sunlu or Elegoo or
basically to spoil Roger's fun here, you rip one side off the cardboard spool, assuming it fits, and then you take either a bamboo or a Sunlu spool and you shove one half of it in. Then you flip the thing over carefully and rip the other cardboard off and and put the other half on, and then twist it and lock it in. It takes seconds. But you do have to be very careful you don't mess up the filament on the spool on the refill when there's no sides on it. So
yeah, one of the very important things is don't let the tag end get loose and don't let Rick die. And then you got to watch when you go to the other side. I usually do the side where the tag end is first. When you go to the other side and you look, and there's a notch in that cardboard where the factory put that Raptor filament and hooked it in there. Cut that hook off because it'll snag when you go through your MS.
Yeah, if you get down to the end, it will. Yeah, I rarely get down to the end unless I'll usually just save the ends for a bunch of small parts.
Oh, see, I let mine run clear out and let the next one take over.
Yeah, I just don't know what the other end is going to be like, so I just don't trust it. Chris says he's got a simple method. Use 2 toilet roll holders mounted on a piece of wood. I don't know how that would work.
If you're going to do a rewind, you could.
Yeah, if you're rewinding, but there's actually you can 3D print a filament rewinder that'll actually move back and forth and wind the thing properly. So otherwise, you're inevitably going to get a big lump of filament on the spool. And if you're as ADD as I am, then that just won't work.
Rather say, hey, you passed over. Blessed are the Kraken, for they shall let in the light. Groucho Marx, one of my heroes. See, it was Groucho, Harpo, and what was the other one? Zeppo. For you, Steve.
Hose maker. I'm looking to buy a UV fiber laser. Okay, there's either a UV or a fiber laser. Thoughts on or opinions on a reputable manufacturer or distributor. Also, what are your thoughts on power? Using it for watchmaking and personalization. So if it's a UV laser, I'm kind of leaning towards the X-Tool UV laser now, even though it doesn't have as much power as the calm marker, but it's much, much easier to use. Now in a fiber laser, calm markers, fiber lasers are pretty decent. So just so you know, almost all fiber laser modules that are inside these lasers, as well as all UV modules inside these lasers, are made by the same company. Like I've had somebody say, how come the beam size on an X-Tool UV laser is different than the beam size on a calm marker laser? And they use the same laser module. The reason they're different is because calm marker measures at the output of the laser module and X-Tool measures at the workspace. So it's going through lenses and bouncing off of mirrors and things to get there. So that's why there's a difference, but it's the same laser module. So don't get hung up on the name on the outside of the box. If you're doing watchmaking, which is kind of cool. I've always wanted to make watches, but if you want a fiber laser, get the most powerful one that you can put into your budget. And same with UV lasers. UV lasers won't do deep engraving generally, unless you're on a piece of wood. But again, get
Steve made a good point. It's something we bring up all the time, is that the fact that there's truly only so many manufacturers for these raw internal components.
Yeah, there's really two.
And for the most part, they're all rebranded lasers. So when you're buying a stateside, I say stateside, assuming you're from the States, but when you're buying a laser and you're not from China, you don't live in China, you're buying a rebranded laser. The reason you would pay for a name brand laser, I would say, or a household name, is really for the support, right? For that Monday through Friday 800 number. But if you're someone who's a driller, probably in the trades, you're probably a little more knowledgeable. That's when you could probably go direct to the manufacturer and save. And I'm not saying that they won't support you, because they will, but just keep in mind that where most time, depending where you're at, could be on a 13-hour difference. So that could be frustrating as a business owner, that you're having to call for help at 3 o'clock in the morning, but you paid probably half the price. So there's a give and take. That's why you'd pay double the price.
Right. So he clarified here, he's looking for a UV laser, and I would stick with the X-Tool. Klaxon, I see his comment down below here. He's saying X-Tool as well.
I'd say hit this guy up.
What's that?
That's where my laser from.
That's the Haitian one?
Yeah.
That's not a UV laser, right?
Well, they sell UV lasers.
Yeah, I know, but you don't have a UV laser.
No. But I'm saying that's where my fiber lasers are from.
Yeah.
And that's factory direct, right from China. The thing is that you want to do apples to apples.
I knew he was in Canada because he has a beaver on his logo.
So that's exactly the email address I just gave you. That's who I just gave you.
Yeah, and I mean their lasers, they're just as good as everybody else's. They use JPT modules just like X-Tool and calm marker and or the Rakis ones.
Yep. So I got one each, right?
I did run into one that was using a coherent laser, which is the third one of that group. And I haven't seen too many coherent laser modules inside lasers.
Chris said, be knowledgeable enough can reduce the price by 20 to 50%. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're not paying for like a more superior product, you're paying for the support. You're paying for the Monday through Friday, the 8 to 5. You know, you can't buy a product from China and get mad that noon your time, they're not going to answer your calls.
Yep. Well, if you've been chatting with Pascal, he's the guy. He's the guy to talk to.
Pascal is the man. So that's actually his email address. So if you've already been talking with them, that's his laser behind me. So he's a good guy. And he is very hands-on. And the only reason he hasn't been on our live is because he talks very well online in a text because he's a translator, but he's embarrassed. He said that his English is still very thick, so he doesn't want to speak on camera.
What's his other language? Chinese?
He speaks Chinese, yeah.
That's probably better than my English.
I mean, it's so funny when people like are so embarrassed, right? Like it's like when we go to Mexico and like the first thing they say to us, "How's my English?" I'm like, better than half the Mexicans in the United States. You know what I mean? Like,
better than half the Americans in the United States.
Yeah. The 60-watt Mopo. Yeah, I have a 30 and a 60. Yeah, so he's
what gets me down to Mexico when I'm down there, especially when I get the dark tan. Of course, it's fading now. I haven't been down there in a while, but they'll start talking to me like I'm native. And I do understand Spanish, but not at 100 miles an hour.
Right.
I mean, they got to slow it way down. And then I'll answer them, and oh, gringo. See?
The bull maker, I would say if you already have an established relationship with him, no one's going to be able to beat that price because he doesn't let customers go. That's all I'm saying. I'd be very skeptical if he wasn't willing to make that sale. He does phenomenal things. And I have some discount codes. You go to rickstwosons.com. I have some discount codes you can use. I don't get a kickback from it, but if you use Rick's 2 cents on the checkout, you'll get some discounts. Matter of fact, I was one of his biggest discounts for any of his affiliates, and they got complained and they had to lower mine. So check it out.
So what happened to Steve?
I don't know. Drop. We still got some time. Maybe something goofy with his computer. Chris said, my answer is as long as it doesn't come to below my English, it's good enough. Yeah, that's definitely just the difference, though. You could, if you're knowledgeable and you can work with the time difference. The only thing to being to my advantage, anytime I've had a problem, it's almost been like it's in the middle of the night, I'm working through something, because the problem happens when it's most inconvenient, and just coincidental, that's when they're up and thriving, right? It's 2 o'clock in the morning, you're like, what is wrong? And guess what? That's their middle of their day. So it's actually worked to my advantage a couple of times, but it does suck sometimes if sending emails, because there's that big, you have to be very descriptive, right? Because you don't want to be like, can you send a picture? And you're like, dude, I just waited 17 hours for you to say that. So, yeah. Hold on, I skipped one. Both said, awesome, thanks, Rick. I've been struggling on cutting stainless on my 60-watt Mopa, but the 16 gauge, any thoughts? You know what? Ask him. So a lot of time, like the influencers, as me, when I was with him, he'll send you material, tell me material you want to test, and he's basically builds a catalog from all of us. So tell him what gauge what you're having, and he'll have suggested settings you should use. All of us that are affiliated with him, we do that work for him, and I'm sure he does his own.
Wow.
Hey, Rick, the next one, your next comment might be spam.
Okay. Let me see if I can. Oh, he's not on my channel, so I can't ban him.
He's on mine, I guess. He's gone.
All right. Hey guys, we're all wise asses, right? We don't care if you like once in a while crack a dad joke or something funny, goofy, totally off subject.
That was not.
But if you're just being ridiculous, we're gonna ban you. Chris, I love the fact that I'm in the same time zone the majority of the manufacturing in China. That is definitely an advantage.
Yeah, one of the things I do, if I do need to talk to like one of my reps from longer for Expo, I will stay up at really late.
Yep.
And I could call them directly and talk to them.
Yeah, I'll WeChat them.
It's probably worse for you guys, right? Because you're right. Like for me, if I'm early in the morning or late at night, I can talk to people on either end of the day. But you're just like, there's no good time for you, right?
So my wife had to get used to that, right? Because the WeChat makes a certain chime. It would be like 3:30, 4 o'clock. No, probably like 2:30, 3 o'clock. My phone would be going off. And she's like, who is that? I'm like, oh. And I want to talk to him, so.
Yeah, if my computer or my phone made any noise at night, I would probably
be sleeping in the garage.
I don't sleep with my phone in my room.
I don't either.
I use it as my alarm clock, so I have to. I don't have an alarm clock anymore. Although most of the time I wake up before my phone anyways.
Well, I worked for so many years, and getting up at 4:30 every morning, and I've been retired for 6 years, and I will still wake up at between 4:30 and 5 o'clock every day.
Yep. My wife said to me the other day on a Saturday, 4:30 in the morning, I'm already showered, and she'd slept down in the living room. She fell asleep. She says, "What are you doing up so early?" I said, "I get up this early every morning." She says, "No, you don't." I said, "Linz, you don't know because you don't wake up for 3 hours later." I've been up, showered, I've been working around. Sandals Living Grant said, "I'm going to be making my next video about getting great customer service from Momport. I was pleasantly surprised." Yeah, they're cool. I was going to do a couple more reviews on them, and they were like, all gung-ho, super engaged, and then ghost me like 3-4 times. So
well, I've been ghosted by Momport now too. I don't know what happened there, but
so it was a CO2 laser, and then it was a UV laser, and then a fiber laser. Nothing. I don't know.
Yeah, I had the same experience with them.
So, but the Momport K40 that I have, the first one was a dud, and the second one was a stud. Chris, my wife's phone gets notification at 2 a.m. every night, just as well as I go to bed at 3 a.m.
And that's the thing. That's one of the reasons I don't sleep with my phone in my room. I leave it down on our bar in the kitchen on a charger at night, because I'll get messages and stuff at 2, 3, 4 in the morning, generally coming from China. And I don't need to hear my phone going off while I'm in bed. So
I thought you were going to say you don't want the RF near you. You have enough of that at work during the day. I know some people, they flat out won't sleep in the same room as their phone. It's like, but you carry it in your pocket.
I don't have that problem
all day.
No.
I mean, I've got open carry on my phone, so.
There you go. There you go.
Like we brought up before, I was surprised how many people will say, "You got open carry?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" "Well, your holster." I'm like,
"Yeah,
that's my damn phone. That ain't a gun."
If you made it this far in the live and you're not already a Facebook group member, please do join our Facebook group, shoptalklive.club. It's not a website. It's just an auto forward to our Facebook group. So we don't have this big, long URL. It's not Steve's Facebook group. It's not mine. It's not Roger's. It's Shop Talk Live. And the reason that I'm saying that is because if you are influencer, a maker, a shop owner, whatever, you are in the maker community, you are welcome and open to share anything on there that's related to the topics that we talk on. An occasional dad joke or something like that is cool too. But don't think you're stepping on any one of our toes by posting any of your information. That's the only reason I'm mentioning in that way. But please do join. I really, really appreciate everyone sharing the things they make. I'm definitely blown away by some of the things people share.
So what have you got coming up this week, project-wise?
I'm going to be making New Year's glasses.
Dollar store again, man.
Nah, I'm going to be making some pretty cool looking, crazy looking ones. Yeah. Yeah.
Is it the glasses you drink out of or the weird ones you put on your face?
Ones weird ones you put on your face, all kinds of
Oh.
funky looking ones.
Okay.
So I have a lot of friends. They do like those. They put a box and they got a bunch of goofy prop type things, and people will take them on to take pictures throughout the party.
Yeah.
So they may not necessarily be wearing it through the whole party. And you know, a lot of people do that at wedding type things too. But yeah, so that's my mission.
Well, my thing for New Year's Eve, we're doing a hog roast, and I'm the chef for that. But it's going to be in the afternoon from 1 to 5.
I don't think I have your address, Roger.
Yeah. By the time I get done with that and get everything cleaned up, because we're expecting between 75 and 100 people,
Wow.
then
Nice.
I'll be coming home and having a few beverages at home. And I don't go out on New Year's Eve. That's amateur's night.
Yeah. I you know, man, that's the difference from not being in the field anymore. Like, I've worked almost every New Year's. Drunk drivers hit poles. Drunk drivers, people drunk
Yeah.
shoot the lines. Like,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, like, thank you for shooting the lines with a shotgun. You're an idiot. There was no slack. We had to pull, you know, like, oh man. You know, there we go.
Pull a mile of wire again.
Yeah. Yeah, what's crazy too is that when there's real bad accidents, a lot of times there's no lights, right? So when you're driving, you can't see anything. They'll be like, "Where are you at?" They're like, "Just follow the strobes." Because you're just pitch black everywhere. You see the strobes from everywhere. Let's see here. Chris said, "I don't often worry about people with FR. What is it?
Probably
Phobia.
means RF.
Yeah.
RF phobia.
Yeah, phobia.
They have
Do
a wall-mounted
wall-mounted
dial phone at
phobia?
home. Yeah, it's I don't worry about it at all. I carry it on my hip. I do carry it in a holster because the different belt clips I've lost and damaged so many phones that I just carry it in a leather holster.
Yeah, you know, I always say when you die from powers, because you got complacent, right? But when you die from RF, it's because it was a silent killer. When I started doing a lot of microwave work and radio tower work, I was like, man, I'm ready to go back to pole work, man. Like,
Yeah, just don't stand in front of the
yeah, well,
cone.
when you're on a high rise sitting up there around AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile,
Yeah.
and you're sitting up there for 14 hours on a roof with all this stuff powered on, it's like you're in a microwave. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, you don't need to worry unless the sticker's barred. Your pocket starts to melt.
yeah. All right, who
Okay.
said, go ahead, take it, Roger.
Can one of you 3D printer people make one of your next videos about slicer settings? I'm new and overwhelmed by all the options I know nothing about. I need to know what slicer you're using, whether it be Cura or Bamboo Studio or
Prusa.
slicer or Creality slicer. Or there's different slicers around. They're all pretty much based on Orca, most of them. And for the most part, their default settings will work just fine.
The only thing that I've had is, and I don't know if it's because the AMS Pro, because is that sometimes it flops colors. So I've had to change.
You have to synchronize a lot.
Yeah, no, it's not that it wasn't synchronized. It's just that it was doing the mode to save. I took pictures of it. It has this mode to save filament.
Yeah.
Right, and you have to go to customize and basically tell it like no, and then it says, well, you're gonna waste more material. And then the colors go right. It's had like a white background and sitting on top of blue in a reverse. It like flipped two colors. It was
well,
like,
if you don't do enough purge, you'll end up with color bleed through.
No.
So
I'm talking
the other thing to pay attention to is if you're using the left and right nozzle, like you're using both nozzles.
Yes.
Pay very careful attention to the screen, the slicer screen, because it'll make recommendations for where to put the spools. And it'll assume you're putting them there. So if you don't, it'll use whatever color happens to be in that slot that it's recommending.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah. So you can hit, I'm not satisfied with group or whatever it is. And
you can turn off the automatic grouping if you want.
Yes. Yeah. So.
But it's usually right.
Yeah,
like as far as efficiency goes.
Yeah. So I don't know. I've done 60, 70 different prints so far, but I had 3 different particular prints that they flopped the 2 colors.
Yeah.
And I actually called
all it's really saying is you're using 2 colors that are in the same AMS. So it wants you to move one to the other AMS.
No,
the
there are
other
two
thing you
separate
can do
AMSs.
is on your print screen, when you hit before you hit print, it'll bring up the two colors. I'm talking about bamboo here.
Right, the drop down. Click it.
Yeah, you can change what colors
Yeah.
are going to go. You can change it right there. If you
Yeah,
don't like the way it looks.
Because I have the two HTs and then the two AMS Pros. So like one HT's on the primary, one's on the well, I don't mean this any wrong way, but the slave and the master, right? So what happened was it was mixing the two up. So I just had to flop some from the right to the left, and then it was fine. But
yeah.
So
Yeah,
what I'm
for
going
some
to do with
reason,
my
it has my AMSs swapped around to where I think they should be as well.
what I'm going to do with my
Yeah.
HQC when it gets here, and I just saw it was shipped today, is on the left nozzle will be nothing but support filament. And then everything else will be on the changer on the other side for colors. Because I'm going to use that one for all the different things I print that needs a lot of support. And the support filament, I've used it, of course, on an X1C, it takes forever because it's got to swap back and forth. But with the HUC, I shouldn't have to wait for that. But that support filament, or using PETG with PLA for support, works great because it doesn't stick. You still have the support, but it doesn't stick.
yeah, people are saying you can't mix PLA and PETG, and I did it, but I had it. They said it was on
they
bamboo
don't
leather.
stick well together. So,
Right, so-
what I do is use PLA for support on PETG because then it just peels right off. Right, it's easy to
pop right off, and you do it the other way around too.
Yep.
Use PETG for support on PLA.
Or you can use PLA for TPU support as well.
Well, I had the PLA as like an inlay, so to speak. So they were like, "Oh, the reason you got away with it so much is because it was basically surrounded in PETG. So it was like molded in; it wouldn't come out. But if you did it the other way around, it would just come up two separate parts. They wouldn't stick together.
Yeah.
So I couldn't find PETG yellow, so I bought PLA. That's all I had. So
The
I made it
bamboo
work.
PLA yellow.
Yeah,
they have a really nice yellow. It's this color.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Santa's laser engraving said we make a prime rib for New Year's party this year. Sounds good.
Nice.
I like mine medium rare with horseradish on the side.
Speaking of, if anyone's in stateside, Sam's has prime rib super cheap. That's where you got ours.
Okay, Red is saying 80 cubic slicer next. Okay, that is still based on Orca.
Yeah, it's some Orca slicer variant.
Yeah, and if you put your filament type in, use their presets. It works just fine.
Yeah, the only thing you might want to vary is maybe infill density or the number of outer shells or something. But as far as temperature and feed rate and all that stuff, they've got the thing tuned already. So
I said I also just started using straight out of the box. Not sure if I was supposed to do some kind of calibration or setup on the Cobra S1 combo. I did it the first time. And I still do my auto bed leveling every time. Do you guys do the bed leveling every time?
I do. I have an auto bed leveling, and I do flow calibration on every print.
Yep. Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
But I did the first initial calibration. It took a while.
Well, you don't really have a choice. Well, you got the extra plate, right, with all the little QR codes on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one probably takes a while, right?
Yeah, I think like 2 hours, or maybe longer.
Yeah, because it looks at every one of those million QR codes that are on there and determines where it is.
Yeah, but you don't have to do that every time. You just do it once. And
Yes, but I do the auto flow, like you said, in the bed leveling in every single print.
Yeah.
But
the bed leveling, when it's set to auto, it's smart anyway, right? Most of the time, it'll only level the bed where you're going to print.
Yeah. Yeah, my son was like, "Why is it doing that? That just wastes so much time." Because he sit there and wants to watch it start. I'm like,
Well, the thing is, they actually build that into the print time in the slicer. Like when
Oh,
it says,
wow.
"Oh, it's going to take 5 hours," well, the first 15 minutes of that is always going to be the startup
I guess
time.
I never paid attention to that. Yeah. The one I want to print one. I know it sounds stupid. We were talking about something you can buy at the dollar store versus, but I want to print that box and put all these pieces in and all the heads. The one that actually says Bamboo Lab on it.
Yeah.
It's like a little tackle box looking thing. Well, looks like we just hit time. It's 8:30. I want to thank everyone for joining our live. Since this is our last live of the year, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Enjoy the time with your family and friends. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Roger.
Yeah.
So I want to
Yeah, that's actually really easy to do.
Yeah. Pretty easy. Quick print.
And I will send you. Next time we meet, I'll show you the little spool filament things that I have.
Cool. Yeah. Do you guys want to say anything on the closeout?
Merry
No,
Christmas
see
to
everybody.
everybody, and
Yeah. Happy
Hey.
holidays. We'll
have a
see you
good
next
New
year.
And I would encourage everyone, if you're our Facebook group members, to post some stuff you guys are making for the holidays. Let's see what everyone's making. I'm excited to see.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see what people are up to over the holidays.
All right.
Yep.
See you guys
Okay,
next year.
See everybody next year.
Ciao, everyone. Take care.